So, I finally have time to do this. I'm finally given the time for myself to make a video on how I set up my OBS for our church live stream. So I just bought a new mouse. It's a very cheap mouse because my trackpad is broken. It does the right mouse click button doesn't work. So I had to find a new one. I had to wait for it to arrive. So anyways, this is gonna be a very long video because it's technically a raw video. I just add a bit of cuts, but yeah, this is a raw video. But I do have some timestamps in the description, or you can just check here. There's called chapters where you can just click in case if you already knew some of the pointers that I'm gonna show you. At least because of that, you can just click on specific topics on this long video on where you need or what you need to know. So anyways, let's get started. You probably already know how to download OBS. You just search OBS and then press download. So this is technically the old version. I didn't update to the new one. I sort of forgot, but it's still the same. They just added a little bit of features, but it really is not that important to our tutorial right now. So here is OBS. Don't mind this one. This is a plugin. Just don't mind this one. You won't have this when you start OBS. You only have the scene, sources, audio mixer, scene transitions, and the controls. So it's up to you to adjust. As you can see, the mic here is doing like this because I set up its default setting is to set the mic on your mic input as this one, but I usually disable it. Anyways, we're already starting. I don't want this video to be too long, so I usually disable this because it depends on your scenes. We're just gonna add new audio inputs anyway. So these are your scenes right here. This is like scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. It's like, imagine if the news where it's like scene 1 is the anchor, scene 2 is the weather report, scene 3 is the sports. It's kind of the same thing. So you can add like this scene, it's like the opening. So you can just right click, rename, let's set it to opening. I'm just rushing this, okay? I'm rushing this while I'm also explaining thoroughly. So this is the opening scene. I'm just typing it, opening scene. You can also right click, set it in list mode because this is the default one, so I'm just gonna use a default one. So the opening scene is where you put like the announcements or the welcome slides, like welcome to our church, Jesus loves you, we're glad that you're here, that sort of thing. And then after that, you're gonna put another scene, and then that's the stream or the live. So this is where you're gonna be, starting the live stream, your praise and worship, your sermons, that all stuff. All your cameras are gonna be in here, and also the lyrics if you want to add lyrics. And then here is like you can add like tithes and offerings. You can also do that if you want to, and then you can just add like announcement. Let's just set it up like this one, announcement, and then the closing. Announcement is where your slides for your announcements are gonna be, and tithes and offerings are gonna be slides for tithes and offerings, and then closing, where you say goodbye and then see you next Sunday. So now that you have all these scenes, this is gonna be the most basic thing I'll ever do. Our church scenes have lots of scenes, but it's okay. So now what you're gonna do is for the opening scene, you're gonna click plus and then press media slideshow. If you just have one picture, you can, or video, you can instead do this like a media source. So you can just do a media source, but we have lots of slides, so we're just gonna do an image slideshow. And then you always say always play even when not visible, or restart when visible. That's how I usually do it. I just because I'm not gonna disturb it when the slides are running through. So every time I go back, it restarts. Slide mode, automatic or manual. If you want to manual, you can use like the hotkeys to press next. It's like a PowerPoint slide, but I set it to automatic. And transition, fade, I just do it fade. Then transition between sides. Milliseconds is 1,000 of a second, so 8,000 milliseconds is equal to 8 seconds. So I usually set it to 10,000, so it's 10 seconds. Transition speed, it's okay if you can leave this at 700. It's just how fast or how slow does the transition. And I set it to loop so that it goes back to a loop. And then image files, just click add files, and then make sure you already have your slides set up already. So I have it already here. Then I think it was on slides or graphics. Yeah, I have it on slides. So I just shift click all of them here. So sometimes I actually include the weekly announcement just in case. Then I just do that. Then just press OK or open. So here are the lists. So there, see, look, it's already done. See, look, that's how it works. So you press OK, and then there it is. It depends on your file. So if your file is bigger than your aspect ratio, of course it's gonna be big like this. My files are 1080p size, but the canvas is on 720p. You can change that in settings and then video. So see, I've set it at 120 by 720 because if you're uploading it to Facebook, it doesn't go beyond 720p. It only allows 720p. You can't go 1920 by 1080 in Facebook, and you're only limited to 30 FPS in Facebook. If you're doing YouTube, you can actually set it to 1080. But in case if we are gonna transcend to YouTube, or we're gonna apply it to YouTube, that's why I set my images to 1080p. So how do I fix this? You can either drag this to center, or like drag the corners to center everything, or it's very simple. You can just right click on the image slideshow, transform, and then fit to screen. There, you can fit it to screen. So there it is. So your opening is already there. So whenever I transition to another scene and go back, it starts at the beginning because I set it to start at the beginning. So after that, you just need to lock it so that you won't accidentally like do this in the middle of a stream, because when you're live stream, what you can see in the canvas actually goes out to the stream. So just in case if you don't want that to move, or somebody accidentally clicks on it, just lock it so it won't move. So now we have the streamer live. So what you need to do is this: just add your video input device or video capture device. So you just right click, you can set it to camera like that. So you can just like do the same thing as me. Like example, I'm just doing this like as an example. It can't show right now because I'm using that camera right now. So I'm just gonna use my integrated webcam. Hello. So you can just input that, and then you can input another camera on it. If you have multiple cameras, I will tell you how to set it up later, how to do multiple cameras using hotkeys on your keyboard. So let's just stick it to here. So we're gonna go to that. For lyrics, I'm just gonna talk about it later, but maybe I should do this now, just so I can actually do it like in a way where I explain the opening scene, explain this, and then sides and offerings, answering, and closing. But I'm just gonna explain it later because I'm just gonna do the most simple stuff first. So tithes and offerings, you can actually just copy the camera, copy and then paste it over here if you want, and then just add like your I use an image slideshow, another one. So Wait. So I usually set it up like this, and then just add my files, which is right over here, I think. Is it right here? No. Oh yeah, here it is. It is here. So I'm just gonna shift click here, and then there, and just resize them. Center to screen. Oh wait, no, it's not center to screen. Center to fit to screen. So you can just do that. So this is the slide. So during the person who is explaining about tithes and offerings, you can just put slides here on where people should, especially online, where will they send their tithes and offerings, where will they give it to the church. So we usually have here like the banks and stuff. Then here are the announcement. You can just add like an announcement slide. I just do an image just so it's very simple. So I have here slides, announcement. I just add that, then just right click. You can also right click here, by the way, as long as this is the source is how do I say it? The source is the source is highlighted. That's what I'm trying to say. So you can just fit the screen over there. Oh no, am I still recording? Good, I'm still recording. Very good. So just do that, and then in closing you can just add a closing image there, like thank you for watching, see you next Sunday, stuff like that. Where is it? I think I placed it over. Where did I place it? Forgot. Okay, just imagine that this is the closing part, like this one. You know what? Let's just get rid of this. Just crop it over here. Right click, and then center horizontally there. Let's just say that this is the closing part. So here it is, like the opening scene where your slideshows appear. Here's your stream live, which is where your cameras and your praise and worship, your church service is located at. Tithes and offerings, announcement, then closing. If you want, you can also set like camera here and an announcement here, and just set it to like the same thing as the hotkey stuff, so that even when a person is speaking, you can also show the schedule and stuff. So now we're gonna go to settings first before you set up everything. Gonna go to settings. Now when you go to video, if you're uploading on Facebook, it's only limited to 1280 by 720. The new update of OBS actually shows you right here like the description, and if it's on Facebook, what settings should you apply, because if it reaches out that point, maybe it's gonna crash or something. And to know that, you're just gonna click on stream, just click your service, if it's on YouTube or Facebook, if it's on Facebook Live, and then the stream key. So in the new version, it's gonna limit to how the settings on OBS should only limit to when it comes to Facebook. So at least you won't need a list or something. The list is right over here. I just didn't update because of reasons. Then here is the important part, the output. If you're recording or streaming, the settings are gonna be different. If you're streaming, I recommend it's default as x264, which is your CPU, and then the other part is gonna be your GPU. So usually I just set it on GPU because majority of the work on my CPU is this right here, what you're seeing, like the way the cameras work in the images. It's running on CPU power. So if you run more CPU power on it to stream on Facebook or YouTube, it's gonna cost a lot of CPU power. So I usually set it at the GPU power. Then target usage, you can set advanced, profile, high. It really depends on your laptop or your computer. I'm using a laptop right now, so you're just gonna have to adjust a little bit of settings. Keyframe interval, just set it to 0 and let it automatically set for itself. Rate control, CBR. So bitrate, this is the where people this is where people mistake bitrate. So let's just open Chrome right now, and then I'm gonna show you how to actually set your bitrate. So imagine I'm gonna do a speed test right now. Wait. Sorry about this. This is a really raw video. I just want this to be less time as soon as possible, but still explain to you how everything works. So we're just gonna run a speed test, and then I'm just waiting for the optimal server. Look, welcome to the Philippines, where internet is really bad. So we're just gonna do a speed test. It's already at 4:1 ping. Oh my gosh. By the way, download speed doesn't matter in OBS. What you need to look at is the upload speed. So we're just gonna wait for the upload speed. So here's the upload speed. It's technically going to like the 19 or 20 Mbps. So let's just estimate that it's 20 Mbps. So bitrate is like 1,000 of, because it's kbps, not mbps. So when you set like the bitrate, it's actually kbps. So it's 1,000 of MB. So if your upload speed is 20 Mbps, you're actually looking at 20,000 kbps. But for live stream, the maximum for like Facebook, I don't know about YouTube, you can look that up, but on Facebook the maximum is actually 6,000 kbps. But let's just say like your I don't know, your upload speed is like 2 Mbps. What happens then? So here's the thing. You have to make sure, sorry about Facebook Messenger, you have to make sure that your kbps or your bitrate is not higher than your upload speed. So imagine if your upload speed is like 5,000 kbps or 5 MB, your upload speed is 5 MB, don't type 5,000 kbps. What happens is, just in case that 5,000 Mbps goes slow and your bitrate is 5,000, it's gonna cause some issues of your upload. So you just have to, usually I go 75% or half. So if you have like 5,000 kbps of upload speed, just go on to 2,500. And by the way, 2,500 kbps is the standard upload speed. If you're still having issues with your upload speed, like you have an upload speed of like 1, then you can like go to 800. But don't expect to have a high quality image out of this. It's gonna be a little bit choppy. It's a bit blurry. Back then, when our church doesn't use a wired connection like an actual internet connection, we use like a data router or a data modem. You buy data, and that it uses the signal instead of like wires. So back then our church only uses like 300 kbps, and it's still fine. I mean, what matters is the message, God's message for the viewers. But yeah, if you really have the budget to upgrade, just buy an actual Wi-Fi. So I usually set this up at 2,500 kbps. Sometimes if I really am confident about our upload speed, I go to 5,000 Mbps. The reason it's big because I'm at home, I'm not at church. My home Wi-Fi has a higher Wi-Fi connection than our church. Our church only has a maximum of like, I think it's the maximum of like, it's like 8,000, sort of that way. So I usually set up at 2,500. Sometimes I even go to 5,000 just to see if it works. So yeah, just set it up like 2,500 standard, but really check your upload speed first. Just do a speed test. So recording, if you really want to record, use the format MKV to save CPU, and then you can use your GPU encoder, and then the bitrate is different. Just set it to 6,000 or 5,000. It's really different than using your upload speed. You're using your GPU in this one. Keep it high on quality instead of balance. It's the same thing. audio, just set it to 160. So here it is. In audio, you can actually have like default audio devices, like over here, like the desktop audio and your mic audio. But usually I just disable everything, like disable the desktop audio and disable the mic audio. Why? Well, let me tell you this. If you go to opening scene, if you have that enabled, even if you put like music over here, you're still gonna hear the audio from your microphone stuff, unless you like mute it. But you know, it's better to actually disable it. So what I'm saying is this: you put up your live stream and just add an audio input capture. So this is where you put all your input devices, like this one. You can just do this. You can just rename this to like vocals. Then you can just add another video input, and you just says as instruments or bands and stuff. You can just rename this so you won't get confused. So you can have like instruments. So at least you have that, right? Like, so whenever you go to a different scene, it won't show up, so you won't hear anything. So you won't need to be reminded to lower your volume every time somebody switches a scene. You can still maintain that volume, and then it won't disturb from your other scenes. So what you can do in tithes and offerings, if you have this, you can actually just delete this one, and instead you can do what's called nesting. So I don't need to explain what that is. I'm just going to show you. So here's the thing. You have this. If you want everything from here to just transfer over here with just this one as the exception, you can just press the plus button and add a scene, then add your stream or live, then there, and just drag it down, and there. So everything what happens here shows up over here, except you actually add this one. So you don't need to repeatedly do the same thing here, like add the instruments and stuff. You can copy them, but you can do nesting and just add this one, and it saves you a lot of space here to add more stuff. So now we're gonna try uploading or live streaming. Don't worry about this. This is not included. I'm gonna have a separate video about this. So now you just have to do this. You can edit your scene transitions if you want a fade or a cut. And then now you need to go to settings. If you want to start live streaming, just go to stream, set it on Facebook. Now go to your Facebook. I'm just immediately doing it here. Just all you need to do is go to your Facebook page and then just press live. So I'm just gonna log into my account. So you're just gonna go to your account and then just press live, and it's gonna open this. The live producer. It's still loading. If it's on Facebook and it's on YouTube, it's still the same thing. You just press live, and then when you press live, you are gonna be given what's called a stream key. So I'm just waiting for this to load. So just click on here, use stream key. Then all you need to do is just type like your title and stuff. Hello world. Now what you need to do is you're just gonna copy the stream key. You can just press copy. That's all you need. And just go back to OBS Studio. Just click on that. Just press Ctrl A to select all. Then delete. Then you can just paste it. And there. Just press apply, then okay. So if you're ready, just press the opening scene first, then press start streaming. And you're gonna show up with this indicator. Green means the connection is okay. Yellow means it's like dropping, and red is a red flag. So you can also use this indicator to see if your bitrate is good. Like if I can set it at 5,000, if it's still going up to like 5,000, then you can go 5,000. But just to be safe, just use your standard one. Then when you go to your Facebook or YouTube, it actually shows like right here. See, look, you're not live stream yet, by the way. You still need to press live if you go. It just means that you're sending information to Facebook. Then you still need to press live if you do. I'm not gonna press live, by the way. So you're just gonna press go live if you're gonna start live. And before you do start live, make sure that you go to stream and uncheck this. Live stream, live video stream stops. Because in case if anything happens to your signal here, it's gonna stop streaming over here. So I always remind myself to disable this feature. I don't even know why they add this feature in the first place. But please don't turn that off, so that anything that happens to your connection, it won't affect your live stream. It won't stop, and then you need to live stream all over again. And it's gonna be a different post instead of the same post. So at least when this thing stops, you're still live streaming. It's just a black screen, and at least if your connection comes back, it's gonna come back here. And to make use of that more, or to make it much better, you can click to advanced and then add an automatically reconnect. Enable it, and then just set it to 10 seconds. And then maximum retries as to 20, so that it will keep retrying the connections. So in case if your connection comes back on, it automatically reconnects to Facebook. So I think that's pretty much it though. Like, you can add music here if you want. Like, just add a media source. Then you can just click on a file, press on your music and stuff. Just click on any music if you want, and then press loop if you want. So you can just do that. Then it's gonna play, lessen it up so that it won't hurt the ears. So you can just do that. And now the question is, why can't I hear anything playing? So here's the thing. You go to settings, and then you go to audio, and make sure your monitoring device is your speakers. I actually muted everything so that you won't hear anything. And then you just right click here, and any music, actually you can also go here and then just click on the gear icon and press audio properties and make sure it's on the scene you want. Then you can actually click on audio monitoring. You can turn it off or monitor an output. If you press it here, monitor only, that means you're only monitoring the audio, but it doesn't go out to the stream. So if you want to monitor and it goes out to the stream, you can press this one, monitor and output. So you can just press this one. And if I'm not gonna do that because the music I remember the music I used is copyrighted music, so I'm just not gonna do that. So yeah, you can just do that. And if you have inputs, you can set it to mono if you want. I actually prefer vocals to be mono, because you don't need to be someone speaking to the right and then the listener will actually listen everything on the right. So I just set my vocals to mono, something like that. And then as a bonus, you can also add filters to your audios. You can like improve your audio quality, but I'm gonna probably link a couple videos that are more explained to this topic, because I don't want this to be long. I'm just showing you the most basic thing you can start off for your church live stream. So here it is, the opening scene, and then after that, when you're probably done, you probably set up a timer here. You can go to stream live, then that's where you start your praise and worship and stuff, your service, then your tithes and offerings, then after that your announcement, then your closing. It's that it's that simple. It's very simple if you really think about it. But let me say this too. Make sure you've done your research, or you're actually watching other YouTube videos about OBS and learn more from it, because in case if you get any errors, you actually know what to do and how to fix those errors and stuff. You don't want to experience errors during live stream and don't know how to fix it. So that's pretty much it. So thank you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've learned a lot in this, and hope you start this actually helps you to start live streaming. So God bless you.